Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder matcher on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with blue team here up in the northwest. Almost said purple team there. It really should be blue team and red team, but anyway. And ending with team 2, also known as the red team in the southeast. Starting up with team 1, southern player, then working our way clockwise, we have in royal blue Team 1, Shame Phoenix. He is a 15-20 rated player going UEF. To his north, we have in Amethyst Purple, the second player of Excited with 2 X's. He is an 1851 rated player, the 8th highest rated player on Team 1. And last but not least, for Team 1, we have in Stitch Blue, Freshie as a UEF. He is a 1606 rated player in Stitch Blue. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 EF leading the front lines with a Cybran in the rear for the air slot. Starting off with the first red player on Team 2 in Ruby Red, we have Baller as a UEF. Lots of UEF here this game. He is a 1591 rated player. To his northeast, we have in Chevy Crimson Mahler. I think that's an I, but I think it's Mayor, maybe. Anyway, he is a Cybran for this match. He is a 1399 rated player, 1 point off of 1400 rating. If he wins, he probably will get to that 1400 rating. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Just depends on if he wins or loses. And last but not least, for Team 2, in Orange to Color Orange, we have Nova Space. He is an Aeon for this match. He is a 1936 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall. So for Team 2 side of the map, they're sticking with the originals. They have 1 UEF, 1 Cybran, and 1 Aeon. Team 2 lacks the Seraphim Tech. Team 1 lacks the Aeon and the Seraphim Tech, which means for the entirety of this game, there are no Seraphim players. Apologies to those who love to arrive late, but love also to make grand entrances. Hopefully you will enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim count here before they scoop it all up. Currently sitting at 3,000 match, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, which also isn't a whole lot to be fair, but it's about 500 match per player. Not, again, a terrible amount, not nothing, but it's definitely not as much as I would love to see. I like those matches where there's 400, 500,000 mass on the field or something, and players just go crazy nuts with all the experimentals and game renders and the whatnot. Anyway, looking at the map overall, let's take a look at Team 2 side of the map for the mexes, splitting it right down the middle. We have a quad mix position that Team 2's air player of Nova Space already going after with that drop earlier. Trimex on the front lines as well as another Trimex up here. A couple of one-offs in the middle of the map and another Trimex here on the other side of this little pond over here. One thing to note, there's a lot of water on this map. Now, there's not a lot of water together, but there's a lot of water on the map in general, which will kind of not clue in our players, but kind of give some players some options to go for some hover tech / submergent units, whether they be, of course, the Wagners for Team 1's and Team 2 Cybrans, or the Blazes and the Riptides for both teams as well. And, of course, maybe we'll see big boat, small pond, maybe with a cruiser or 2. I mean, we have 3 out of the 6 players being UEF. Those cruiser missiles could come in handy. The best places to go for those would probably either be in this pond right here for Team 2 and this pond over here for Team 1. Or maybe actually this, they wouldn't get that close. Probably this close maybe for Team 1. But essentially you would want to get far enough away to not have a nice little just rush in and kill off the naval factory, but far enough away and still in range to go for the cruiser. So you kind of have to play that by ear. But in the middle of the map here, everybody's going for it. That's really the only land engagement, especially for Team 1 at this stage of the game. Of course, Team 2's air player of Nova Space has Aurora, so he can float his units across the map a little bit. But everybody else can't do that because there are no other Seraphim players, or no Aeon players on Team 1 and no Seraphim players entirely. So no other hover tech at T1. But we do see a couple of units fighting in the middle here between Mayor and Freshie. We do see that, of course, Baller going for his frontline facilities to get more of those units on the front line even faster. A couple of units break off from the main group here from Shane Phoenix to go after these engineers up here going for mexes, and he is pushing into this plateau. We could see a situation here where Team 1 tries to essentially go for this upper plateau here, because both of those plateaus for Team 2 have been claimed. There was possibly a distance build here. There was a distance build here for Team 1. That gets denied quite easily here, unfortunately, here for Team 1. So that's going to be Not great, especially with those logos nearby that deal all that damage to the structures. In the middle, it is Shane Phoenix versus Baller. Baller pushing back at Shane Phoenix. He's like, no, go away. I didn't ask for your invasion or whatever. So go away. Lots of Chevy Crimson units online here for Team 2. Look at all these units just rushing into the middle. Obviously, it is +2, so they do look like they're moving faster than they actually would be, which is true because the replay's been sped up a little bit. Because, of course, the early stages of Ladder aren't really that entertaining. Same with a lot of matches. Just you got to get your units to the middle of the map or near the middle of the map, and it takes a little bit. Enough time for intros and that kind of thing. But look at this attack from Team 2's Mayor just pushing in, not allowing any sort of pressure to be alleviated from that movement here. We do see that Shane Phoenix being essentially knocked around for a little bit. All of the units from Team 1's front line are being shifted for the most part into that, which will give Team 2 some time to go for gun upgrades. Both of the red players on Team 2 go for gun. One of the blue ones for Freshie, being that the blue player for Team 1 going for gun as well. It is a UEF and a Cybran versus a UEF and a UEF on the front line with a Cybran coming in for Excited. Excited already has gun and stealth on board, so that's going to be huge here for him being able to assist on the front lines. Team 2 and Team 1, everybody needs to be on that front line. Everybody needs land. Not everybody needs air. Maybe some Team 1 bombers and interceptors for the land players, and obviously the T3 for the main air player, but you got to have something to fight back with that early harassment. Team 1 has a gun upgrade started here for Shane Phoenix. The gun upgrade here for Freshie is done. Stealth going on the way here for Mayor. Gun almost done. Now done here for Baller going for Nano immediately. He does have a lot of units surrounding him, so he's going to be able to at least hold off for a little bit. Upgrade going decently well here, sitting at almost 20% so far. By the time that Calm of Excited gets nearby, he should be pretty much done with that. And of course, Shane Phoenix over here to the west. We haven't seen a lot of efforts to go around yet. That's, again, like I pointed out, due to the fact that there's a lot of water kind of curtailing any sort of land engagement. There's a tiny land bridge right here, and you can squeeze units here as well. But there's a lot of choke points. It makes it very difficult to get units around. It's better to just wait and get units that can just traverse the water and land by themselves without any issue. Excited pushing in with that stealth upgrade, not allowing Team 2 to see where he's at. You can see he's like, I know there's a comm shooting at me. Where is he? He's shooting at me somewhere. Team 2 will see him very briefly. Gun upgrade activates, going after those Mantis. Baller almost done, over 80% I would presume. So he's going to be very close to finishing that upgrade. Couple of gunships online, though, for Team 2's Nova Space. Going after Excited. Looks like those Spectres are going to flee in the face of a couple of interceptors. But that Nano is now not done. It's almost done. It is done. There it goes. Took 96 seconds exactly. A couple of bombers over the top here for Mayor to just, again, thin the herd and allow Team 2's other player of Baller to push in. Again, the one thing I am seeing from Team 2 is that Nova Space is not pushing in with his commander. We have Shane Phoenix over here, almost done with an upgrade. Possibly, I mean, I'm assuming that's Nano. It could be T2, to be fair, but it could be Nano. I highly doubt it. It's not Shield yet, so it's either going to be T2 or Nano. I would assume it's Nano, given the situation. Yep, it's Nano. We do see that Excited could go for Nano right now, but it's deciding to just kind of, again, exert a little bit more pressure on the front line with his commander. Again, the thing is that there's not that many commanders here in the middle for either team. Team 2's Nova Space is back here. We do see Mayor's over here to the east. But Team 1, I mean, we have a comm all the way in the northeastern corner here for Freshie. He wants to engage a different front, and he's going to be able to grab this upper plateau, and he's pushing him with his Riptides, doing very well at using the map to his advantage and getting units around the map a lot easier than trying to traverse some, like, nasty little land bridges. Couple of Riptides online here for Shame as well. Team 2 is heavily relying on T1, but now we see a lot of T2 emerging now. A couple of Rhinos running around, as well as some Pillars as well. So not really focusing on the hover tech units, focusing more on the just full send-it, tanky units. Nano Repair has been started for Excited. It's getting a little bit dangerous for him to engage, or to be there, but it looks like Shane Phoenix distracting enough and having enough protection to be able to finish that upgrade before he would have to call it off. We do see that Mayor's coming in as well. It's 2 comms in the middle for each team. And not the comms you would expect, at least for Team 1. The air player for Excited on the front lines, while Freshy's over here to the east. He's very isolated, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Bad thing because if gunships come in or any sort of land force moves in that he can't really deal with, he's kind of stuck and he has a long way home. But the benefit, though, is that he's not in the main engagement, so there's not going to be this kind of steamroll where, one player might just get run over. Excited now pumping out shots into Baller. Baller pumping out shots into Excited. We do see that Shane Phoenix assisting as well, dealing with those rest of those Siren forces from Mayor. And it's not really looking good for either team in the middle. In the west, we do see that plateau position still holding. Team 1 not really trying to engage there. Team 2 has lost the upper plateau position over here. And now we have those Riptides using that water to traverse territory that normal T1 units would not be able to, at least the UEF ones. We have T3 land online and T2 air online for Mayor. T3 air, of course, online, and T3 land online as well. Percy's are being produced. I'd love to see them. Team 2's Baller doing a very good job of just being very annoying for Team 1, not allowing them to push in any further in on this western side. You see that Mayor's coming in as well to just assist with these Riptides coming in for Freshy. We do see most of those Riptides actually break off from the main group and go north. There's a nice little T3 unit online of a Loyalist running around, so those Riptides are going to get EMP'd a little bit and then get killed because they can't really fire back because they're EMP'd, so can't really defend yourself if you can't fire. We have some Swift Winds as well as some ASFs running around here for Nova Space and some ASFs running around for Excited. So the air power is starting to emerge here in this game. And now we see that Team 1 has claimed pretty much the entire northern section, and Team 2, of course, has claimed pretty much the entire southern section. So it's pretty much a 50-50 land division here between both these teams. Baller continuing to just pepper Team 1 with... actually, no, those are Team 2. Those are his teammates' units, excuse me. I just noticed they're right next to him, so I just assume that they are his. But, what happens when you assume and whatnot? A lot of pillars over here, though, and Baller... looking like he's going to get some veterancy from this. Pillar's trying to push in on this western edge of the middle. And unfortunately for Shane Phoenix, they cannot hover, so they can't go over the water, which means Baller's going to get some nice overcharges here pretty shortly. There goes the overcharge. Kills off a pillar instantly. And gets another overcharge, kills off 2 more. That's going to get some veterancy for him. He's going to force this engagement. Maybe it'll draw enough attention to allow, air quotes, Team 1 to engage the middle, but the calm of Mayor's there, and they're not willing to risk anything in sending forces over there. There's a decent amount of these T2 Riptides over here, though, that Mayor needs to be careful of. He's going to deal with those quite nicely. He's getting some tickle cannons online, the Cerberus PD for his faction. Of course, it's PD, it's something, but it's not the best for sure. A couple of gunships over here rip apart Team 1's Freshy's position over here. ASF's inbound. Those gunships are dead as a doornail. And there goes 1, there goes 2, there goes 3. They are all gone. Excited telling Shane Phoenix to go for shield. We do see that now that those pillars are dealt with. It's not really looking good in terms of the unit count here for Team 1. Lots of spam up here for Excited, but this is all Team 1. Team 2 starting to transition to the T3 stage, so Team 1's not going to cut it. Even T2's for most units aren't going to cut it. I did see a Percy being built. There it is, right there. Are there any more next to him? Yes, there's a Percy, and there's a couple of Flapjacks. We'd love to see some of those Spearheads as well, those very nasty mobile missile platforms that just pump missiles out constantly. Almost 20 minutes on the clock here for the game. Team 1 and Team 2 have not lost a player as of yet. Sometimes there are deaths before 20 minutes for ladders, but most of the time, if players are playing a little bit defensively, no one dies before 20, normally. Team 1 sitting at 500 mass income, Team 2 at almost 400. So Team 1 is leading the game in terms of mass income, but I'm surprised that there's not really a lot more T3 units online. We are seeing a lot of Titans emerge, though, from Freshy. He's going for the rapid response unit approach of, well, my units move fast, which means I can traverse the mass faster, which means I can do more things, but the raw firepower that he could bring to bear is only diminished because he's not building the Percys. Instead, he's building the Titans. Which, again, Titans are still good, but again, I am a Percy fanboy, if anything. So, love to see those Percys run around the map. On the eastern side of here, just a couple of Team 1 mexes, nothing too bad, and a couple of Team 1 AA just to deter some bombers, and a nice little ASF just circling to assist. Looks like it's still circling. Yeah, it's just kind of on a patrol mission. So I'd love to see that. Again, don't need that many over here. Team 2's only been sending some T2 gunships, not T3s, so going to be perfectly fine, and just sending one ASF to deal with the gunships. Shield has been starting here for Baller. Shield has done here for Shame. He's sitting at 2-star veterancy, and his opponent, a Baller, sitting at 3-star veterancy. Same upgrade slot, or same upgrade menu, or same upgrade choice, because they're both UEF. Not just because they're UEF, but just because it's kind of the standard gun, nano, shield kind of approach. Mayor just kind of receiving some missile fire, but does have those loyalists so they can redirect missiles. Oh, that one strikes one of those spearheads. That's got to hurt. The only issue, of course, is that the spearheads pump out missiles quite quickly, so redirecting missiles might work on the first one, but if there's 3 more inbound, it's not going to work on those. Kind of just died down in the action so far, though. We do see a lot of Titans trying to push into the middle here. Team 2's Baller is rooted to the spot. We could see a possible snipe attempt. I don't know. He does have gun and he does have nano. And he is taking some shots now from those Titans. There are some Percy's going to come in and assist from the west that he was building up. And, of course, there's more inbound all the time. And Baller actually cancels the shield upgrade. That's definitely a good choice. He needs to get out of this encirclement of of Titans, excuse me. Baller can't get out of the way. Does get a rank in veterancy, though, so that'll assist. And with that, he should be fine. He's actually using his parashields to actually block the shots from the Titans from inside the shields, which is usually the other way around. Usually block shots coming in, and these are the shields coming, the shots coming out. A couple of Titans over here being able to deal with that. Torpedo has been started and canceled. Excited's like, that's the wrong upgrade. Are you trying to build laser, my good man? That would be interesting. 24 minutes on the clock. Omni on the front line is going to provide a lot of intelligence gathering here for his team. And, of course, they're able to see everything in the middle of the map without any issue. Yep, they can see everything. Look at that. And at 24 minutes on the clock here, Team 1 at 730 mass income, Team 2 at 615, so about 100 plus mass ahead here per second for Team 1. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And, of course, thank you so very much for watching. I think I did that little spiel already. I can't remember if I did. I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, it's already 23 minutes. Did I say it? Did I not say it? I know I talked about mass, but maybe I got distracted. But anyway, I really do appreciate all the time and attention to give to my videos, especially these ones. Ladder isn't as popular on the channel as customs, but I do feel like Ladder does deserve its time to shine, which is why I do produce a couple of Ladder videos per week, because there are a decent chunk of good matches for Ladder, and it's just fun to watch a more, not to say more relaxed game, but kind of more, it's not all experimentals and game enders and all that. It's mainly, can you use just essentially T1 to T3 to win? Now, does it happen every time? No, but that is definitely the trend of these types of games, where it's mainly just T3, T2, T1. Maybe you'll see an occasional T4. Maybe you'll see a satellite. Maybe you'll see somebody build a game ender once in a while, but mainly just those, mainline units. Those units for Baller still being peppered. He hasn't restarted his shield upgrade, but he's now at 4-star veterancy, 74 hit points a second, and almost 19,000 hit points on board said commander. Now we see a couple of raiding bricks here to the east, going after all of these mexes that are vulnerable. That's another T2 mex. That's going to be another T2 mex, another T1 mex. Looks like Mayor has come in and ousted Reshi once again and claimed T2 mexes. That's 24 mass per second that he's getting. That'll definitely help shorten the gap between the mass incomes between both teams. Percy fight here in the middle. More Percys here for Team 1. There's a lot of spam units, which will try to shield a couple of the Percys, but they are being one-tapped. And And the Percies are also kind of being one-tapped at this point. Team 1's doing a very good job of just charging forward. Mayor saying scout map is Team 1 building any sort of spicy items in the back. Fat Boy has been started by Freshie. That is it. That could be the first experimental of the game. Team 2 is building a crab. Mayor is skipping the monkey phase, going straight for crab. And that's it. So 1 crab for Team 2 and 1 Fat Boy for Team 1. And the Fat Boy will be finished first unless he just stops it immediately after I start talking about it. We see some loyalists in the mix going after those Percies. Percies being EMP'd for a brief moment. Lots of spearheads. Those were the main targets. Did those bricks get dealt with? Yes, kind of, but they killed off 4 mexes before they really got dealt with. And now those spearheads are running for their lives as those loyalists and other units are trying to catch up to him. Freshie builds that Fat Boy. There it is. All in its glory. It's mobile factory nonsense. We do see the Percies hiding underneath the surface to protect against any sort of shots from Team 2. And Titans that can't do that are being shot at quite just nonchalantly. Like, yeah, we'll just fire some shots at you and deal with you. Ravagers on the front line starting to, again, force back Team 2. We have a Ravager v. Ravager fight over here. Actually, no, we don't have a Ravager v. Ravager fight, excuse me. Because that one wasn't even in range. It was those spearheads from Team 2 that wiped those out. Very, very unfortunate. So that is a good thing to note, that the spearheads have better range than the Ravagers. Just food for thought. Food for thought. 1 little brick survives that encounter earlier on. It looks like those rest of those spearheads either fled or got killed off. Looks like they got killed off. That Fat Boy is going to continue to pressure and be escorted by some Percies. In the southeast, that crab is almost done. So again, 1v1 experimental so far. And now again, this game is starting to take the experimental shape. But of course, there are some Percies running around and a spearhead and a Titan randomly. The spearhead's going down, but the Titan will be taken out by said Percy. And the Percy almost dies, but it's still fine. But there is still a squad or so of Percies down here that Team 2 has to deal with. We see Baller trying to establish a front line with PD, again, kind of mimicking what his teammate is doing over here. Nice little soothsayer online here for Mayor, going to provide a lot of vision in the middle of the map. He can see, I mean, a huge, look at that. He can see a huge chunk of the game. I mean, that's probably about a, I mean, I wouldn't say a third, at least a quarter at a minimum. This is a small map, to be fair. It's probably about a 12v12 maybe. A 12x12, not 12v12. 12v12 would be an insane game. But Team 1 has skyrocketed in the eco department. 1.1, 1.2k versus 900, extending that lead up to now 200 mass per second. And of course, it doesn't help that a couple of mexes are being taken out by these Percies. That PD gets sniped out of its nice little wall housing. Team 2 needs defenses online immediately. It looks like they're going to have enough Percies to maybe defend. A couple of gunships also coming in, and Team 1 bombers to assist. Haven't seen a lot of air, but Team 1 definitely does have the numbers due to the stack count, but it looks like Nova Space is spacing his out. 98, almost 100 for Team 2. Excited. He has 100 even, so essentially lockstep with his opponent. Fat Boy over here going to start pressuring this crab. It's going to go after that soothsayer. That's going to very much hurt. A couple of artillery pieces are online. They're starting to slowly train in on that Fat Boy. Fat Boy needs to start moving, or it's not going to feel good here shortly. A couple of Corsairs inbound to deal with more of that shield. And, excuse me, no, there's more of them inbound. That was just a prelude of things to occur. And there goes the Fat Boy. That's got to hurt. First experimental of the game is now the first dead experimental of the game. Second Fat Boy is being produced by Shame as we speak. Lots of shields to protect all of the mass fabs surrounding all those T3 mexes. Fully ringed, capped off T3 mexes as they are. Very volatile. Has to be very careful. I do love the little heart over here. It looks cute. And he's not producing anything big ticket item, but lots of mass fabs. He is scaling his eco very nicely here, almost at 700 mass at 33 minutes. Looks like those Percies have now decided to retreat, but unfortunately they're being bombarded by Team 2's air forces. And that fight does get defended quite nicely. So that attack that was going to happen is now been denied. Nova building a Tsar. He might use that as the way to distract Team 1's ASFs to get a lead in the air. Or he might just send it in to go for a catastrophic kill on the air grid. One or the other. T2 mixes being assisted by some nice Gunthers. Unfortunately, those Gunthers are not going to pierce the HP on board that experimental. And now we see that Baller might be shifting into assist as well. Mayor leading the charge. Lots of engineers running around. And we see some PD being wiped off the face of this planet, moon, whatever planet, it's celestial body thingy you want to call it. It's being wiped out. Czar is almost done. It's already over half done. Artillery has been started by Mayor, so he's like, nah, I'm just going to play it easy and go for T3 artillery and call it a day. Now that Omni is dead, and now the T2 Mix is dead, and the stealth field is dead, everything is gone. The Mangua does receive a decent amount of damage from that artillery emplacement, but now that position is gone. Team 1 has lost their Omni. They don't have a backup, at least that I've noticed. So if there was a teleporting, not teleporting, but a cloaking laser commander, they'd need some spy planes or other means to see it. Fatboy is now done for Team 1 once again, but Team 2's Mayor has decided to go for artillery, building up his Corsairs for another snipe on said Fatboy, I would presume. And those Percys and those bricks and that crab going to lead the charge. Fatboy in full retreat. It can't stay there much longer. There are some Percys trying to flank that incoming brick. Not incoming brick. Well, the incoming brick force is actually back there. But the main force is just the crab and the Percy. The bricks have actually just decided, no, it's fine. We'll just stay back here and let the crab do all the work and call it a day. The Percys are not going to stop the crab, but it's going to do enough damage to assist the whalers that are over top here for Team 1's air forces. And that's good that Team 2 knows about that, because now they have to worry about gunships from Team 1. And looks like that rest of that force has been dealt with, and those bricks were definitely smart to call it off. The fight, air fight will occur, and Team 2 will get a nice first engagement. Will it make the difference, though? Team 1 not really microing the air force, and this is deadly for Team 1's excited. He's not paying attention, and he's lost most, if not 90% or so of those air ASFs. Those ASFs, ooh, he's going to just full send it anyways and go after the gunships now. Great move here. Use the advantage while he has it. Cleans almost the entire sky out of all of those gunships. Oof, that is rough. That's got to hurt. Team 1 loses air. I mean, they lose, not even lose air. They didn't have air. Neither team had air, but that was a great move by Novaspace. He saw the opportunity, he took the opportunity, and it worked out beautifully. And now that Tsar that he has built is going to be unopposed in the ASF department here for Team 1. That is deadly. And there goes the Tsar in all of its glory. There, of course, the artillery is going to start backing it up. It's already over half done, closing in on the 75% mark. Hives being built next door to assist with either shield construction or assistance or whatnot. Where is that donut going, you may ask? Well, it's not going anywhere so far. I would like to see it kind of go on this south-north approach, or yeah, because going east and then north, or north and then east, north and then west, it's not going to work. 2 fat boys over here, 1 fat boy over here. I hate to tell it to you there, fat boys, but that's not good for your health, I might add. Independence Day vibes here is what I'm getting. That's, I think, mainly partially the influence of the design for this Tsar. I feel like that's my headcanon is the Aeons watched Independence Day and were like, oh, we'll design a ship like that. And that's essentially what it is. And the fat boy over here to the north looks like these are going to go for it. Will it get the third? Will it get the triple kill? There's a little bit of AA on board, but it's not going to matter. That fat boy is DED. And there's also a bunch of Percys guarding said fat boy. That fat boy is not worth it, my friends. ASF guarding that Tsar as much as possible. There's a lot of AA being produced, and the Tsar going to be... No, not going to be sent in, maybe not. I think maybe Novaspace will just keep it kind of just in reserve for its missiles on board. That it can fire at all of the air units from Team 1. Another Omni has been built in response to the loss of the first one. And that thing has killed off now 70, almost 80,000 mass. Paid for itself and then some with that thing. And artillery is now online for Team 2's Mayor. And, of course, as I make a comment that this game isn't going to turn into, like most ladder games don't become a, you know, T4 artillery nightmare, essentially. This is one of those games where artillery is now online. Oh, there goes a part of a cascade. A lot of them were already damaged. Oh, is it going to get the rest of them? It does get the rest of them. Kaboom. Oh, that's got to hurt. That's a lot of P-Gen destruction. And Freshy just control Ks. Pretty much saying it's not really worth playing this game anymore. And there he goes. Kills off a lot of engineers. At least the T1s, at least. I think that's what died down there. And there goes the donut over here. He's going to start taking out all of the mexes over there. We have an attack with just T3 units over here. FAF, we're going to do a very good job of actually keeping this force back. And there's a lot of PD going to be built in response. T2 and T3. I love the mix because it helps with far away units and closer units. It's not like trying to get a Ravager to really spin or turn its cannon is very difficult, especially when it's blitzing out a tons of shots. Donut taking out mechs after mechs after mechs. 111,000 mass. 116,000 mass. 5-star vetted. Donut, you don't see that every day, ladies and gentlemen. You don't see that. He's going to build it. Yes, he is going to build the second one because why not? The first one worked so well. Team 1 needs a counter to this artillery or it's not going to be a good day for them. And the air grid is gone. Oh, the PGN mass FAF farm over here. That's not going to feel good here shortly. If that blows up, that's a chunk of mass. Excited at 1.1k mass. And, of course, the artillery landing in the void ocean off the edge of the map here. Yep, there it is. There's that shot. Man, very, very lucky with those shots here from Team 2 on Team 1's position. The brick force still trying to push in. It does kill off a pigeon right about now, but that's just a lot of artillery fire. 1, 2, 3 fat boys plus a crab. Oh, that's rough. It's just donating mass at that point. Team 1 has their own artillery online. It is a disruptor, so it's 1v1 in the artillery game, and it's targeting, I would assume, the air grid. That's what I would target first because it's probably not going to be unshielded, and it is not. And the first shot misses. Artillery has been started soon, I should say, here for Nova Space. Second artillery almost in the green, so it's going to be a 2v1 game here shortly in the artillery. Does Team 2 know about Team 1's? Yes, they do. Does Team 1 know about Team 2's? Well, obviously they do. They don't know. Actually, they don't know where it is. They just know it's somewhere. Oh, man, those shots are missing. But they're still getting a nice little AoE. It looks like it's going after another group of mass FAF and PGens. It's taking out the mass and power income here for Team 1's. Excited. He does have 2 bases, though, so he has a lot of power at his disposal and a lot of mass as well. 900 mass per second, to be in fact. It looks like they are targeting. But there's a lot of shields, so it's not really going to crack easily. You really need a donut to just literally crash on top of it. There's a lot of AA, though. Team 1 might be able to fight back and hold off just enough to go after Team 2's artillery. Mayor's like, I'm going to bob and weave, bob and weave. 1 shield is not enough, my friend. You need a lot more than that. You have 2, which is definitely not as much as you would probably want to see. Emissary is now started. It's going to be a couple minutes before that finishes. Air grid needs to have more shields, and it is getting more shielding, but not quick enough. Artillery landing in on Mayor's position. Second artillery is now done. Shields adding to the pile to assist with defenses. PGen does get taken out, which will slow down the fire rate of that one just a little bit. Not a lot, but just enough. It can make the difference, though. Second emissary is almost up and running. Shields are staying online, but a lot of them are not really feeling well. There's a hole. That's not good. Team 1 needs to plug that hole. It's not going to be a good day for them. There's that second artillery firing, and essentially I'm going to just split things at this. Oh, that is not the button. That's the end the split button, not the actual do the split button. And now it's turned from a Fat Boy T3 pressure game, which is still happening. There are 3 Fat Boys and a crab, but that's not the main traction so far. It's this artillery. And essentially it's, can Team 2 keep the shields online long enough to pierce Team 1's, and can Team 1's keep their shield online to keep Team 2 at bay and pierce their shielding. Oh, the hole is opening up bigger and bigger. One nasty shot, and it's all over. Needs to land right on that Peach, and there it goes. Kills one of them off. The other one, oh, it's not looking good. A lot more shielding falling offline. That one misses. Actually hits Excited, it looks like. If that Pigeon goes down, it's done. If that Pigeon goes down, it's done. Oh, it just can. Team 1 last against Team 2's dual artillery pressure. Now Team 1 has 2 artillery pieces, and it's 2v2 now. And the shield's not doing super well. Third artillery going to be started. That's an interesting idea, but I don't think it's worth the mass cost. Just build more shields. Oh, it's not looking good. This Pigeon takes a hit. The shield emitters are going down. More shields are being built. Okay, love to see that. Oh, there goes another Pigeon. The Disruptor is still fine, but it's losing its fire rate quite considerably due to the loss in Pigeons. Looks like artillery is now targeting more Pigeons over here to try to just make it very annoying for Excited to keep shields online. But he has 25,000 plus, so he should be perfectly fine in that regard. Oh, and there it goes. It kills off the Pigeon and kills off the first artillery piece. Ooh, that's got to hurt. Of course, we see in the middle Team 1 and Team 2 having a nice little talk about Fat Boys and crabs and whatnot. Teleporter has been started by Excited. We could see a situation where he goes for laser and then kills off Mayor's artillery, and then Team 1 has the advantage with the experimentals with the 4 Fat Boys and a crab. But still, it's going to take a little bit to spin up all that shielding and spin up all that power, and he needs the shielding. And Excited and his team just says, no, we're done, see you, bye. And Team 2 wins the game. Third artillery piece was started, and this artillery piece was already a quarter of the way done. But I do feel like overall, Team 1 pretty much could have come back a little bit in this game. They had a lot of AA. They had a lot of attack power with the Megaliths and the Fat Boys, but Team 2 was turtling a little bit too much for Team 1 to handle, especially with all of the Gunthers down here. That's a lot of them, I might add. And that is going to be the game here, folks. 46 minutes on the clock and 53 seconds. And that is the game. MVP, I don't really know if there was a standoutish player here for Team 2. Definitely the artillery is pretty much what won Team 2 the game. And Team 1 almost had a chance to come back with it. They lost their first one. And then, of course, going for teleporter wasn't the best idea, especially for the power constraints. And then the shields went down, and it was only a matter of time before that second one was taken offline. And due to the fact, of course, that Team 2 is building another one and another one and another one. So everybody on Team 2 was building T3 artillery. It was only a matter of time, essentially. But let me know down in the comments what you thought about the match. There's also 2 Fat Boys over here. So there were 6 Fat Boys online, and Team 1 still lost the game. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, again, like I said, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see all of you in the next one.